Have you ever pondered about the real cost of that wooden table or the paper in your notebook? It's an interesting thought, isn't it? The items we often take for granted, the products we use daily, are all woven into the intricate tapestry of our planet's ecosystems. Imagine the journey of a single sheet of paper. It begins as a seed, sprouting into a sapling and growing over decades into a towering tree in a verdant rainforest. This tree is not just a solitary entity, it's a hub of life, a beacon of biodiversity. It provides shelter to countless creatures and contributes to the balance of the ecosystem. But then, one day, it's cut down. Its journey doesn't end though, it's transformed, processed into pulp, and ultimately it finds its way to your notebook. This tale is not unique. It's repeated millions of times over, every single day. The rate at which we're consuming our forests is staggering. Every minute, forests the size of 20 football fields are cleared. Every year, we lose an area of forest equal to the size of the United Kingdom. The cost of our consumption is not just reflected in the price tag on the products we buy. It's a cost borne by our planet. The forests we're losing are not merely collections of trees. They're complex ecosystems, rich in biodiversity. They're homes to millions of species, many of which we're yet to discover. They're the lungs of our planet, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. They're the guardians of our climate, regulating rainfall patterns and buffering against extreme weather events. When we lose a forest, we lose more than just trees. We disrupt the intricate web of life. We destabilize our climate. We risk our future. And so the next time you sit at your wooden table or write in your notebook, remember the journey, remember the cost. The price is not just a number, it is the silent echo of trees falling in the forest. When a tree falls in the forest, it's not just a tree that's lost. This statement carries more weight than one might initially think. The tree you see is not just a solitary entity, it's a crucial part of an intricate, interconnected ecosystem that thrives on diversity. The immediate effects of deforestation are indeed devastating. Imagine a vibrant, bustling city suddenly wiped clean off the map. That's what happens when a forest is razed. It's not just about the trees. The forest is a habitat, a home for millions of species of flora and fauna, each playing their unique role in maintaining the health and balance of that ecosystem. When forests are destroyed, these species lose their homes. And we're not just talking about a few squirrels or birds, we're talking about millions of species, many of which we may not even have discovered yet. And this loss of habitat leads to a steep decline in biodiversity. The Sumatran tiger in Indonesia, the orangutan in Borneo, the golden lion tamarin in Brazil, these are just a few examples of the countless species that are being pushed to the brink of extinction because of deforestation. These creatures, these threads in the intricate web of life, are being snipped away one by one. It's not just the animals either. Numerous plant species, fungi, and microorganisms, all integral to the forest ecosystem, are also disappearing at an alarming rate, and with them, we lose potential medicines, food sources, and a wealth of knowledge about the natural world that we've only just begun to understand. The loss of biodiversity is not just an environmental issue, it's a humanitarian issue. It's an issue of survival, of maintaining the balance of life on this planet. We are all part of this web, and when one thread is cut, the entire structure is weakened. Every tree felled in the forest sends ripples across the web of life, disrupting the delicate balance of biodiversity. And it's up to us to ensure those ripples do not become waves that could wash away the richness and diversity of life as we know it. Forests are the lungs of our planet, but what happens when we take away its breath? Just like human lungs, forests inhale carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen, playing a critical role in maintaining the balance of our atmosphere. They're our planet's natural air filters, taking in vast amounts of carbon dioxide and storing it within their trunks, leaves, and roots. This process, known as carbon sequestration, is nature's way of mitigating the effects of climate change. But here's where things get complicated. When we clear forests for agriculture, logging, or other human activities, we're not just eliminating trees, we're also disrupting this crucial carbon storage system. Each tree felled means less carbon dioxide is removed from the atmosphere, and more is left to linger and trap heat, exacerbating global warming. What's more, the act of deforestation itself releases the stored carbon within trees back into the atmosphere. When a tree is cut down and decomposed or burned, the carbon it once stored is released as carbon dioxide, contributing to the greenhouse effect. It's a double whammy. We lose a carbon sink and gain a carbon source. In fact, Deforestation is responsible for about 15% of all greenhouse gas emissions. That's more than the total emissions from all the cars, trucks, and planes in the world combined. This ripple effect of deforestation on climate change is not just theoretical, it's happening right now. We're witnessing more extreme weather events, from scorching heat waves to catastrophic floods. These are not isolated incidents. They're pieces of a larger puzzle, each one linked to the loss of our planet's forests. But the story doesn't end here. We have the power to change the narrative. We can restore our forests, and in doing so, we can restore the balance of our planet. When we fell a tree, we aren't just cutting down wood, we're fueling the fire of climate change. But remember, each tree we plant, each forest we save, is a step towards extinguishing this fire. Forests are homes too, but not the kind you might be thinking of. When we talk about deforestation, we often focus on its environmental impacts. But let's not forget the human aspect. Forests are not just a collection of trees. They are the heart and soul of many indigenous communities worldwide. For these communities, forests are more than just a place to live. They are the backbone of their culture, their history, their identity. These communities have been living in and around these forests for generations, coexisting in harmony with nature. They don't just live in the forest, they are a part of it. But what happens when these forests, these homes, start to disappear? The effects of deforestation go beyond the loss of trees. It means the loss of an entire way of life for many indigenous communities. When a forest is cut down, it's not just the trees that are lost, it's the homes, the livelihoods, the traditions, and the history of these communities. Consider this: a forest for these communities is a source of food, medicine, and shelter. It provides them with everything they need to survive. But when these forests are destroyed, these communities lose their primary source of sustenance, forcing them into a life of poverty and struggle. Moreover, it's not just about physical sustenance. Forests hold a deep cultural and spiritual significance for many indigenous communities. They are a source of wisdom and knowledge passed down through generations. But with deforestation, this rich cultural heritage and traditional knowledge are also at risk of being lost forever. The loss of forests is therefore a loss of identity for these communities. It's a loss of their connection to their ancestors, their traditions, and their culture. It's a loss of their very essence. So when we talk about conserving forests, we're not just talking about saving trees. We're talking about preserving cultures, traditions, and ways of life. We're talking about respecting and acknowledging the rights of these communities to their lands and their way of life. When a forest disappears, it takes with it a way of life, a culture, a community. Let's remember this as we continue our journey into understanding the ripple effects of deforestation. The ripples of deforestation spread far and wide, but so can the ripples of change. As we navigate this complex web of deforestation and its impacts, it's vital to remember that we also hold the power to change the course of this narrative. Around the globe, conservation efforts are gaining momentum. In the heart of the Amazon, initiatives are underway to protect its vast biodiversity. From the establishment of protected reserves to the implementation of sustainable farming practices, these efforts are a testament to the power of collective action. In the thickets of Borneo, local communities are working hand in hand with conservationists to safeguard the orangutan's habitat. They're transforming palm oil plantations into thriving ecosystems, proving that economic progress need not come at the expense of our environment. But it's not just about the grand gestures and the large-scale projects. The power of conservation also lies in the small, everyday actions of individuals like you and me. Sustainable forest management is a key component in the fight against deforestation. This means making conscious choices about the products we consume. Opting for products made from sustainably sourced timber or palm oil can make a real difference. Recycling and reducing waste, supporting local businesses that prioritize sustainability, even planting a tree in your backyard. These are all ways we can contribute to conservation efforts. Remember, change doesn't always have to start big. It often begins with small, consistent steps. It begins when we start making decisions that not only benefit us, but also the world we live in. Every one of us has a role to play in reducing deforestation. When we start to understand the value of our forests, we can begin to appreciate the importance of their preservation. The ripples of deforestation are far-reaching, but so are the ripples of change. Every action we take, every choice we make can either contribute to the problem or be part of the solution. The choice is ours. We can either be the cause of the ripple or the solution to it. Every action counts, no matter how small. Let's start today by supporting companies practicing sustainable forestry, choosing products with a green thumbprint. We can lessen paper waste by going digital wherever possible and recycling religiously. Consider donating to or volunteering with conservation organizations. They are the warriors on the front lines, battling to protect our forests. Remember, the future of our forests, our planet, and ultimately ourselves lies in our hands. Act now, for the ripple effect of your actions can shape the world of tomorrow.